All right, guys, today's the day. You have been asking, almost every single week I get requests for this, and we are now finally set up where I get a chance to go through and record RPods for you at your request. This is the #1 most requested brand that we've just never been able to showcase here on this channel before, and we are finally cracking the seal and making this happen. So what we're gonna do today to help introduce this brand to people who maybe aren't familiar with it, we're just gonna do some fast flyby footage where I'm gonna just cook through a bunch of these things really quickly. You're gonna hear me yakety-yak voice over and over the top of this thing, and I'm gonna chapter mark this video by different floor plans. But the thing is, as you can see behind me, there's a ton of these things here. So what I need from you, I need to hear from you which of these things are you most interested in, so I know which ones to try to focus on and get you those full deep dive videos. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to try to get as many as I can, but if there's a model that you see, or if you're familiar with their catalogs, if there's a model that you really would like us to go through, let us know. And in the meantime, here's what they're all about. So we're going to start small and work our way up, although I think it can be pretty readily argued that by American standards, none of the RPods are really large by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I'm going to give you some background, and then we'll get into more details as we go through more of these units. Like, when you thought of RPod historically, this is kind of what came to mind. These sort of inflated, teardrop-ish kind of campers right here, that this is where they really broke through the market and made a name for themselves. What's interesting about RPod is they have different body sizes on different models. Like, this one's only 6.5 foot wide, so it's very lightweight, it's very easy to tote around, it's very easy to pull and yank, but they all ride on an 8 foot wide axle. So in the case of the narrow body RPods, it makes them extra sturdy and stable when you're towing down the road. It makes them less likely to herk and jerk around when you are towing and going. For the most part, they use 60x80 True Queen beds, with the exception of some of their Murphy bed floor plans, which just don't quite allow for that. And more recently, they've updated this front, instead of just a generic window, to that dual pane Euro style acrylic window windshield that pops open for mega airflow. Now don't worry, there's things like bug screens and sunblock shades on there. There's also a thing called the Hood River Edition, which is what we happen to be looking at here. Hood River Edition is the name of the Western RPods, whereas the Eastern RPods are just called RPod. Now, when you're on the super curvy models like that, you'll have a 190 watt flex roof panel. You might notice on the roof of this one, there's a fixed flat solar panel. Those will be 200 watts. So essentially, all RPods have about 200 watts of solar. Now, a couple times through this video, we're going to get a quick little fisheye lens like that, just to give you a fast flyby of this. That's not something I like to do a lot of. And when you get into our full video tours, it'll look more like this, where it's real. So this floor plan is kind of cool. It's simple, no slide, easy towing, but look how they maximize the campsite window coverage here. This floor plan is really smart because it gives you the features and the space of a camper with a slide out without actually having a slide. Now, in case you didn't pick that up, all of these have a central vacuum system, also including what I call the electric dustpan, where there's that little black box right at the ground level where you literally flick that up with your toe and everything suctions in right there. These floor plans are also carpetless and ventless, so they're extremely pet friendly, very easy to keep clean, and I've noticed they all have the Fajita Friday fume fighting fart fans. They don't do any of the dollar store 4-inch fart fans in these things because it seems like airflow is a higher priority with them. Now, so far we've seen single axles. We'll jump up to the tandems when we can, but I really love this big window kind of function that they have going on here. Another quick little construction thing, we'll have Azdel directly below the fiberglass on your walls. Azdel helps eliminate delamination for a number of reasons. These will all have some size of rear hitch on them. Most of them have a class 3 receiver rated for 300 pounds. The little teardroppy guys, it's a class 2 hitch for a smaller duty bike rack. They also all have heated and enclosed bellies. The Hood River editions also pick up a couple things, like you may have noticed the Goodyear Endurance radials. That's what most of your RPods will have, but the Hood River editions pick up holding tank heat pads. They pick up that off-road kind of tire package and a few other very small things. Most of these will also have a 12-volt smart TV, so whether you're in the parks or out of the parks, if you feel like watching some boob tube time, you can do it right off your battery power, understanding you're gonna, eat into the battery a little bit more on that. They have privacy window prep in the entry door, so it's a full viewing window, and there's just a little window shade insert you could pop in. Personally, I would really love to have that in there, but they don't seem to do that by default. These microwaves are also air fryer convection electric ovens, so it's what I call that 3-in-1 wombo combo kind of function. And in a small camper like this, you have to really maximize everything together. That convection air fryer, maybe not the best solution for boondockers, absolutely, but for a park pavement princess like me, it works just fine. A lot of these are really good about having big full pass-through compartments. You might notice right there the tankless on-demand water heater. These are also prepped and ready for a 2,000 watt inverter. Now, a couple times in the pass-through, you might notice something like that where it looks like a wall panel, on the inside edge is kind of buckled down. That's literally there to be easily dropped down to be water pump access, so it's just enough to keep cargo shift from smashing anything in your RV. It's actually done that way essentially by intention. Now, people are going to ask, are these 4 seasons or something like that? I despise that 4 seasons phrase because I think it's borderline predatory marketing, but these are all going to be very reliable extended season use. But they have some just crazy, cool, fun floor plans like this. Now, again, this is a quick wide angle look that we're doing right here, and this is what it really looks like. This camper absolutely stopped me because the first time I ever walked through a floor plan like this, I checked it out. I'm like, wow, there's all this nice big open space and it feels airy. And they had this huge campsite window. Look at this like almost food truck serving station they have going on. And then I saw all the storage, the big pantry, a really nice bathroom that also has crazy good storage. The kitchen is not terrible for a small camper, you know? And then I realized this is a tandem axle, no slide kind of camper. And it just totally took it clear up to the next level for me. Now, you might have noticed that they're using a lot of those 2-burner stovetops. A lot of people don't realize, in many ways, those are better than a 3-burner stovetop. And that sounds like some sort of stupid thing a salesperson would say, but hear me out. A 3-burner stovetop, the front burner is a high output that can boil water. The 2 back burners are low outputs that really can barely boil, they really can't even boil water. The 2-burner stovetops combine the back 2 burners into one single high output unit. So this actually has 2 burners that can do real cooking while maximizing countertop space. And then just even the little details they have in this, like this floor plan is super fun to me. That indoor-outdoor serving station that they have going on. And the outdoor griddle station is going to be factory standard on every one of these. I've just never seen something else quite like this, and I thought it was just really, really super fun. Now, moving up from here, most of the time, if you see a tandem axle RPod and it has a slide out, it will be 7 foot 6 inches wide like this. The slide out is what's going to give you the extra sensory of space. If it's a tandem axle RPod without a slide, then it'll be an 8-foot body. So they have a couple very specific rules that they kind of self-impose, but it makes a little bit of sense. They've also done something here, like notice how that's a step-up slide out. Normally, that does not allow for a reclining theater seat like we're looking at here, but they basically sourced a specialized mechanism that allows them to actually have reclining sofas in a step-up slide-out in a smaller, lighter RV. Maybe somebody else is doing that. I don't know. I have never personally seen that in my 16-plus years of doing this. I thought that was a really cool thing. Now, they're all going to be 6.5 foot tall inside, so none of these are extra super tall. Again, though, one of the things that is nice is that they are going with the 60 by 80 queen beds on everything except for the Murphy bed models. So like this model, a lot of their RPods like this historically had the short camp queens, and they are getting away from that. And once again, remember, when you have the wheel wells slightly outside the body of the RV, it provides extra towing stability. So the tandem axle RPods that are 7.6 wide with the 8-foot wide axles should tow and go very nicely. Now, the charge controller they're putting on this, if you wanted to upgrade to a second set of solar panels to be 400 watts, it shouldn't be too awful difficult to accomplish something like that. But it's so far everything we've seen has really been solo and or couples campers, they absolutely have some fantastic bunk models as well. This is just one of the first samples of that I happen to run into right here. And this is a floor plan that a lot of builders have made over the years, but it's a very smart, very effective floor plan. And with the things RPod is doing to help you do little stuff like maximize the counter space in a tiny box camper that normally gets 2 things for counter space, jack and squat, I'm kind of okay with it. And again, being very cognizant to focus on maximizing the window space. You might have just caught a peek at the Clutter Cutter Shoe Garage. It's not that they're necessarily doing a lot of super unique floor plans the world's never seen before. It's just that they're executing them extremely, extremely well, like including a ladder so you don't have to heave-ho, throw the kids into the upper bunk. The move bunk, get out the way cargo situation that they have going on right there. It's all those extra little details that a lot of brands, they might do 1 or 2 of them, but it seems like RPod is really good at packing in a lot of those nicer, bigger, family-friendly features. I never saw a single RPod model where the converter box was going to be blocked off by a slide that closed, for instance. Like, they're all very travel functional. They're an absolutely awesome series of campers if what you're looking for is small, light, towing, and going. Like, if you live in an HOA, maybe, and like they have certain restrictions, like you can't leave a camper parked outside of your driveway. This is a brand that has a lot of floor plans that basically max out about 25.5 feet maximum tip to tail that can provide you a lot of cool function and opportunities that maybe some other things just wouldn't. Now, right there, you saw that Max Air roof vent cover. That is one of those other things that comes specifically on the Hood River edition that's made out in Oregon. And this model is going to be about the last one we look at today, but it absolutely shocked me because when I first looked at this, I'm like, okay, so this looks like a Surveyor 202. This looks like a Rockwood 2205. But the more I went through it, the more I started to recognize and appreciate the little nuances and aspects of this one. Again, the True Queen bed in a tiny camper, giving us sofa and a campside dining bar with the food truck serving window in a tiny camper. The direct viewing entertainment smart TV, the centralized vacuum system, all the little things that they're doing right here. I've never seen other builders pack those features into a layout quite like this one. And the counter space was limited. And I'm like, man, if you throw a coffee maker on here, you're SOL for counter space. But look at that chunk of counter space in the back. Did you see the power outlets back there? That can be your coffee maker corner, your Keurig corner, your air fryer station. And they, in a lot of their floor plans like this, they offer the choice between the theater seat, a hide-a-bed, or a dinette. So they let you pick your floor plan. It's like Burger King camping. You get to have it your way with these. I did notice a couple of the bathrooms, to me personally, feel a little bit lacking in linen space, but they're always really good about giving me a place to hang up towels and little details like that. There's a bunch of, little daily use feature and function friendly features that will be found on these, and that griddle station right there is something you'll find on every one of them, of course, with the patented nerd RV propane hooker included on every single one of them. I'm super curious to see what you think of these, because overall I really liked what I saw. I thought there's some fun stuff here, not for everybody, but there's some smart features here. So, again, today was just the appetizer. We're going to go start cooking through all these things and getting you all the main courses we can. But again, I need to hear from you. Which ones are you most interested in? And if you like the fact that we actually do pay attention, and, we were trying to fulfill your request. You said you wanted RPod. We're making RPod happen. Hit that subscribe button, catch the videos as we come out, and continue to provide us with that feedback. If there's something else you want to see, if there's something else you want to know, not even just another RV review, but like a topic or something, if you ask, I will do my very best to try to fulfill and deliver on that. I can't get to every single request out there, but I'll get everyone that I possibly can. So until next time, stay tuned. There's some good stuff coming. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.